Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
So we can come in whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Zazubaar and R64 Bear, aka Bill and Bobby. Yay!
Yay! Ian gets really excited when he's got two people with the first letter B in their names, and I don't know why.
BB, because I can call you guys BB.
Oh, please don't.
no, so B and B. I can call you guys B and B. You two should get gay married and then open up a bed and a breakfast, because it could be called BB's B and B.
And that's the only reason why. Just so that can be a thing.
It could be called BB's B and B. It could be called BB's B and B. Actual here.
Oh god.
The marketing possibilities are not endless, but very, very niche and very, very attractive. People.
Why do we have to get gay married? Why can't we just open it up as business partners?
Because everyone's gonna assume you're gay anyway. If you're going to have breakfast together, so you might as well.
I've heard of worse ways to get married, worse reasons to get married. So.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, Bill, put a ring on it.
You know what, Bobby? I'm gonna respectfully decline.
Yeah, I understand. It's okay.
Bobby's used to being left at the altar.
Oh!
It only happened twice now, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, everyone, this is gonna be a wacky week. I can already tell you. Episode, whatever. You know what I mean. So anyway, I am cheating on my next topic pick. I should pick an idea topic, but I'm like, I want to watch the fucking Lego movie and I want to review it with my friends. So we're doing that next week. So I thought we'd do a double week since Milan wasn't able to give us a topic. It should have been a review topic this week, which it will be. But we're also going to double down with an idea topic. We're going to combine them. We do that occasionally. So we're going to talk about the 2001? 96. Wow, it's even older.
Way fucking off.
The 1996 version of Romeo and Juliet, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and released by Baz Luhrmann or whatever.
Baz Luhrmann.
Okay, directed by Baz Luhrmann. We're going to talk about that.
If you're in any kind of film program, you will learn that name.
I mean,
you will do it unwillingly.
Hold on. Alright, so yeah, we're going to talk about Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, and then we're going to transition to the wider topic of portrayal of teenagers in fiction. So this should get interesting quickly. Alright, so right off the bat, who here actually likes the movie?
I like it visually.
I like it, but not for the reasons it was intended.
Okay, I actually enjoy it, like, legitimately enjoy it. I'm not a Shakespeare fan by any means. I really do not like a lot of Shakespeare's work. But the reason I like this movie, and I'll give my reason for liking it to start out, since I'm kind of like the voice of dissent, it sounds like. The reason I enjoy this movie is because it actually makes Shakespeare's, like, you know, hussy-fussy bullshit somewhat relatable. You get somewhat invested into it because the actors are, you know, doing this thing called emoting as opposed to just, like, reciting. Like, that's the thing with a lot of Shakespeare. All they do is just basically recite it, and you're supposed to be able to follow it, and that's not what it is. It's supposed to be drama, and they actually treat it like drama, and you get invested in it because of the performances and the visuals, of course. Wow. I mean, it's weird. Baz Luhrmann's kind of been in my head lately because Haley and I watched Moulin Rouge. And that is not... It's an experience.
Right.
I enjoy it more and more upon reflecting on it. But not because it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, wet sock. Anyway, no, I do enjoy Romeo and Juliet. So, Bill, what about it don't you like?
I just find it boring, plain and simple. I just find it excruciatingly dull. I also find it hilarious because I get it. I get the idea of, hey, we're gonna make a modern day version of Romeo and Juliet, but we're gonna set it in modern times, and we're gonna make it a word for word adaptation. So a couple of concessions have to be made in terms of the visual palette, and the ones they do make are hilarious. So my favorite example of this is we cut to the back seat of a limo. I think it's Romeo's parents.
Yeah.
I guess the Montesquieu's, and the father's like, let me grab my long sword, and he reaches up to the roof of the car, and there's a shotgun up there that just says long sword, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's hilarious because it's like, alright, first things first, why does this motherfucker have a shotgun? 2, why does he call it the long sword? And 3, why did he feel the need to label it? What in case he forgot?
No, I don't think he labeled it, to be fair to the movie. I think that the idea is that the guns have, like, the names engraved on them, which real guns do, Smith & Wesson, for example.
Yeah, but didn't it say it not on the gun?
No, like, all the
yeah.
guns have it engraved onto there.
There was one gun that says dagger.
Yeah.
I remember that too. I thought that was silly too.
They
but...
all have it engraved, like it's the name of the type of gun.
Okay, that's slightly better. I thought literally the image I have in my mind. Let me just say this: I did not rewatch this one. But I saw it recently enough. I remember it very well.
Okay, how recently? Like
less than a year.
Okay, fair enough.
It was in a film program last year. And the little label, the way I remember it was under the gun, but whatever. It's still ridiculous, but I'll buy it. Now, in terms of the boring, I don't like Shakespeare anyway. I just don't find it engaging, and I find it very, very difficult to get into because of the language and because, you know, one thing, and let me just say this, it's not something that can be criticized very objectively. It's very subjective just because of the fiction that was inspired by it, what came after Shakespeare that based itself on it, and just the modernization of the material. And you got to give the man credit for what he created, but there's not a lot of character in his writing. It's very, very flat and very, very literal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
Bobby, why don't you go ahead?
like George R. R. Martin, he actually believes that Stan Lee was a better character writer than Shakespeare was.
I'd rather read Stan Lee than fucking Shakespeare. I'll tell you that much.
But go ahead, Bobby. What about it? Why do you like it, but not for the reasons that you're supposed to?
I don't look at Romeo and Juliet as a romantic tragedy. I look at it as a black comedy or satire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this was an intention, but I always look at it as Shakespeare kind of poking fun at teenagers, how quick they are to act on their emotions, and they act on their with logic and with their instincts.
Fair enough. I think that's a pretty good place to talk about, you know, the central characters, and the reason I decided that we're going to do this movie, not just because Baz Luhrmann's in my head due to Moulin Rouge, but also because, you know, we're going to talk about teenagers, and it's because Romeo and Juliet does some things very well in its portrayal of teenagers. In the, like, I think John Green said it best, in that the reason teenagers are so appealing to write is because everything is so much more immediate for them than it is for anyone else in any other point in their lives. Because you're trying to define who you are in those years, where you're not trying to do that necessarily in other parts of your life.
That's very
so,
true.
like, I think that a lot of that comes through in Romeo and Juliet, where they're both trying to act in such, like, big, sweeping ways to establish the kind of person they are, even though it's a little kooky and overdramatic and not very well thought out. And the other thing about Romeo and Juliet that I always feel the need to bring up, so I mean, this is as good a time as any, it is not a romance story. Haley and I were driving back to my house today before we watched it, and she's like, I've never had a guy want to watch a romance movie with and not complain about it. I'm like, well, it's not a romance movie. It's a tragedy. You want to know how I know that? They both fucking die.
Well, let me ask you this. Aren't most romance stories, and I don't mean like romantic comedies, usually tragedies?
Go on.
Like, no, but I mean straight, no comedy, dramatic romance stories.
No, because like a lot of westerns weren't comedies and they were more romance movies because it'd end with riding away together in the sunset or something.
Wait, do you mean like a romanticized kind of reality, or like a legit romantic movie?
Well, both. I mean, there's romanticized reality, but a lot of when I consider a romance movie is when the couple gets together. It can be dramatic and stuff, but when the couple gets together and gets that happily ever after kind of ending, and a lot of westerns end that way.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you just meant specifically like boy meets girl, they fall in love.
I can't remember one off the top of my head, but there's one where a cowboy and this woman that he's protecting or whatever. My dad was a huge fan of westerns, so I just constantly would walk through the room and see like clips from or the end of a western or whatever. But they're hiding out in a cave overnight while there's a snowstorm, and the bad guy's out front waiting for them, you know, so that he can have a shootout. But he realizes the snow's coming, so he kills his horse and tries to go all Luke Skywalker and sleep inside the skin of it. And then the cowboy and the woman leave the cave in the morning, and the guy's like frozen solid inside the horse skin, and then they ride away together in the sunset. That's a romance ending, where they get to live together happily, kind of.
Okay, fair enough. But what I meant was like literal, the story leans on the boy meeting the girl and they're falling in love. Like a movie called, like you go back to the 70s and you go back to a movie called like Love Story. And, you know, that's a prototypical story of the guy and the girl getting together and their life together. And that ends tragically, and a lot of them tend to. Even modern stuff. Like you look at something like, oh, I can't believe I'm going to even imply that I know anything about this movie, but you look at something like A Walk to Remember, and that's very much so the same way.
Bill, I'm going to make you feel bad. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Okay, alright, I'm going to defend myself, because there are people out there who know what that is, and they're going to be like, how the fuck does he know what that is? A Walk to Remember is an early 2000s straight dramatic romance movie, and my cousins, who are girls, loved it. And they would come over to my house all the time and force me to watch it.
They
like every day.
You down and like put this
Ian,
clockwork orange inside your eyes. And one of them sat there with the fucking eye drops and dropped it in your eyes. Did that happen?
Yes, it did. They would tie me up. They put a helmet on me. They fucking held me down. I was in all white. Stop it, please, stop it! Ah!
Here, have a glass of milk.
That's why I'm so fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, there's nothing.
Hold on. If Milan were here, he'd be like, "That's just how we watch movies in Russia."
Isn't that how you watch everything? Ian, isn't that how you watch Romeo and Juliet today? It's to build endurance. No, but you know, that's another prototypical love story, and it ends tragically too. The girl dies of some kind of terminal disease. And it always tends to end that way. And let me just say this to kind of bounce off the John Green quote you brought up. I think what makes teenagers so appealing to write and so much more fitting to dramatic narrative is that they are so much more willing to fucking change. And here's what I mean by that. Teenagers are what is the basic definition of being a teenager? Being somebody who just kind of is on the end of that era of my life is you are constantly trying to definitively find yourself. Mm-hmm. And you almost never do. You are constantly willing to change your entire persona just for the hell of it being, okay, maybe this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So you'll constantly do it. And not only will you do it, you'll do it dramatically. Dramatically.
Yeah, you will just walk down the stairs one day and be goth. you know, and your parents...
You will be.
It
absolutely will be. And it's totally normal. It's absolutely normal. And and no matter how dramatic the change or how ridiculous the change, you know, it'll be a part of who you ultimately become in your adult life, and it is totally normal. I think that's the definition of being a teenager. So when you want to do a story about a teenager, and one of the major crutches of a narrative is a character arc and a character change, I think that's what makes it so appealing. It's also an enduring tale, because I think whether you're being a teenager or not, you are constantly trying to find yourself and try and find the definitive you. And the most socially acceptable, vessel of this is the teenager. So we find that as a very romantic aspect of our lives, and we constantly want to go back to that because it's like, oh, that's when it was still acceptable for me to be trying to find myself. So I think that's why we constantly want to go back to it, and I think that's why we constantly find, storytellers using that era of a life to tell their story. And I think that's where the issue comes in, if you don't mind me kind of, changing the discussion a little bit, is, how accurately you represent that. Because I think teenagers, while they're the most popular things to write, they can be a pain in the ass to write.
That's
because
the thing,
it's very easy to make a teenager annoying.
It is so incredibly easy. I mean, how many bad... you want to look at bad writing for teenagers? Pick a horror movie, man.
Oh, yeah.
Go down the horror movie aisle in a video store if you can still find one, and you will find some poorly written teenagers.
I can't find a video store, Ian. So that must mean they don't exist.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Last week, or a couple weeks ago, I did a review over Carrie.
Oh, okay.
And that takes place during high school. And it was quite interesting in that movie. They got actual teenagers for the movie.
Oh wow, that's a rarity.
Yeah.
And that's why there's no nudity.
Yeah. And half the cast, it seemed like it worked pretty well. For the characters that were trying to be the assholes and bitches who were being really mean and hateful, I swear they did a pretty good job with that. But there was one part where this genuine nice girl, it just never really, the acting for it just never really worked, or the writing either. It just it didn't come off natural. It came off like you're trying to present a nice character, but it seems too fake.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's an issue a lot of the time, because it's like, oftentimes writers write teenagers as extremely irrational.
And I think
to a certain extent... Oh, absolutely.
But I think the reason that happens more often than not is because they're oversimplifying what it means. Because we talked about it already. It's like you have this overwhelming desire to define yourself and be who you're going to be for the rest of your life. Which, let me just say to any teenagers watching this, who you decide to be in your sophomore year of high school, I promise you, is not going to be the exact same person you are 10 years later. I promise that much. That being said, it's just the writers jump onto this thing of, this over-dramatic thing, and then they oversimplify it to the point where the teenagers just come off as these, hormone-crazed lunatics that have, fucking bipolar disorder almost.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think the problem is that writers write teenagers like they write them like animals almost. Like they have one simple goal in life, and they just go for it no matter what, no matter who they hurt, and no matter how they come off to people. And I think teenagers are a lot smarter than that. And if you go to any high school, you're not going to see the kind of overt bullying or overt just jackass nature of people that you'll see in a movie. There is no, in a modern high school setting, you're not going to see a bunch of football players in these football jackets walking down the hallway pushing nerds into lockers. It doesn't fucking happen.
Bill, don't you tell me that Glee misrepresents American youth. Okay? do not say such blasphemy.
I'm sorry, Ian, but I'm gonna say what's on everybody's mind. Glee? There's no truth in that art.
It really is. That's what's so bad. That's what's so alienating about shows like that. You watch, Glee. I've just seen clips of it. And I mean, as far as, the clips I have seen are mostly the performances, which are certainly entertaining. as someone that like was into theater and stuff, that's certainly fine. But like, when you watch the story part, the high school drama part, and seriously, here's what happens like almost every other episode, and a lot more in the first season, right?
Yeah.
The jocks walk down the hallway and they grab the Glee Club kids, push them into a locker, and then pour Slurpees on their heads. And do this constantly.
Happen.
And no one does anything about it. That's the horrifying part.
Yep, it doesn't fucking happen.
Well, I think the problem is with Hollywood. Hollywood writes high school like it's junior high or middle school.
Absolutely, thank you. I totally agree with that.
Because that's an experience I had. Because we all grew up watching these like dramatic versions of high school and stuff.
Yep.
And in it, you know, everyone acts like they do. And then so when we go into middle school, we like all got this sense that we're supposed to act that way.
Right.
Then by the time we got to high school, it was like, oh, who fucking cares?
Exactly.
Christ, I don't have time
Yes.
for this shit. I remember.
Yes.
I remember a girl I was dating in high school. I finally talked to her when like I was out of high school and she was a senior. She's like, yeah, fucking freshman. No one has time for their bullshit. I'm like, I dated you when you were a freshman. You were the bullshit. She's like, yeah, and I'm sorry about that. Oh man,
Yeah,
such
that's
insanity. Like freshmen are the last point, and that's why they get bullied. Like freshmen get bullied more so than any other group in high school, and that's specifically why. Because no one has time for your bullshit, child.
Like my brother Nathan, who was in the Ian and Bobby's Epic Adventure.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
How do you fuck up the
the title of your movie.
Epic Quest to Rent a Movie.
Thank you.
Sorry. Anyways, he's a freshman in high school this year.
Which makes us feel old.
Oh yeah. So he got in trouble this week for he asked the teacher to go out to go to the restroom. He goes and he leaves, and instead of returning, he goes to the lunchroom and never returns. Huh. Really? You don't think no one's gonna catch you? Like, I'm pretty sure you're not the first or the last kid to ever do that. I mean, come on.
Oh, I did that a lot in high school.
Yeah, but like you got caught.
No, I never got caught.
Well, they realized you were fat and they just decided to let you have your food.
That's, you know what? I actually wasn't fat back then.
Yeah, I
didn't
know,
do
it's
it
weird.
senior or
Guys,
junior year.
seriously, you want a treat? Go look at Skinny Bill, and then, like, you get to feel better about yourselves.
Fuck you! Fuck you! It happens to everybody. I got news for you. Unless you're Ian and you just like naturally like this twig, you're going to gain weight. So junior and senior year, it just happens.
Well, like I've had an idea for a video forever where I want to like get like, and now that I know Milan, I really should do this since he's really good with Photoshop and stuff. I want to get a picture of me where I look like just like one of those ridiculously obese people, and then I want to get like I got the pants for it. But I need to get one of those Richard Simmons sparkly tank tops, and I'm going to make an infomercial where I talk about my weight loss technique. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a picture of me as like a fat ass, be like, alright, now here's the secret to losing weight. You can eat your way through to the other side. You see, when a star in space gains so much mass, it actually collapses in upon itself and then begins to consume its own matter, becoming a black hole. This has happened inside my body. You can make it, people. You can eat your way through to the other side.
Oh my god, you should do that.
I've been wanting to do it for years, but I need the right costume. I have to find a Richard Simmons top.
I'm gonna say this though, just for high schoolers. Find a sport that you like that doesn't involve fellow high schoolers and stick with it. For me, that was golf. And I stopped playing golf, that's why I got fat. Because, you know, you find something that does that, like, if you're an antisocial person, just play golf.
Gal.
And walk every Sunday, and I swear to God, you'll stay skinny.
There's very few moments where Bill's New York accent slips through, but we just found one.
Really?
Say it.
Which one? What word?
Golf.
Golf.
You hear it? You hear it? Yeah.
Like golf.
Golf. Golf.
Coffee.
Coffee. It's that hard O. Anyway,
Yeah, it slips there. Actually, that brings me to another point about teenagers.
Go ahead.
Major issue with the writing of teenagers is that it's this weird life-imitating art thing where the current teenage generation becomes what it is because they grew up as kids watching, narrative story that's poor representations of being a teenager. I watched a lot of, Drake and Josh as a kid.
Oh, God.
And that's a terrible
It was White, Keenan, and Kel. Why does no one ever recognize that?
I watched that a lot as
it was
as
the
a kid.
white man stealing Keenan and Kel.
Well, it was made by the same people, so they were like, "Hey,
that is
you
the
guys
white
be
man
white
stealing from the black version of himself." No,
it's the white man keeping the black man down." Anyway, it's a terrible representation of teenagers, and I bought that. I bought that as being a teenager, and then when I got there, it's nothing like that. You don't go on zany adventures and shit.
no, seriously, you don't. Unless you're Ian and Bobby.
Yeah.
In which case, you drive to the rave movie theater, and it takes you about 3 hours, and along the way, you get completely lost in your own hometown.
Only $5 is in your wallet.
And a very old, like mid-40s woman hits on you because of your afro.
And that wasn't even hit. She was blunt. She's like, "I want to fuck you."
Yeah, if you were a bit older, I'd fuck you.
This is also back when Ian Aswell also had an afro.
Yeah, it's good times, good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where Ian had an afro.
You don't believe me, but it's true.
No, I've seen you in an afro. Those were dark days. Let me
My
just tell you
family
that.
actually thought Ian was black for the longest time.
Milan still thinks I'm black. Sometimes he thinks I'm white. It just depends on the day and like what pills he's taken. Milan is so bad at identifying race. It's hilarious.
He's bad at identifying himself sometimes. To look in the mirror and go, "Who the fuck is that?"
Who is in my house? You shall die.
He starts stabbing the mirror.
Oh, you have disappeared, so I'm fighting a magician.
Because he breaks the mirror and he knocks it down and he thinks he's fighting like a fucking warlock or something.
That's an awesome idea for like an opening.
Oh.
Next time there's something vaguely magic related that's happening. I'm
Oh,
fuck.
fuck.
Go buy a mirror just for that.
He doesn't have a mirror.
Not like a mirror, just so he can break it.
Oh, he walked into his house with a mirror, and his dad goes, "Hey, Milan, why do you have a mirror?" "I am going to break it, Papa. You are the reason why I endorse abortions."
Yes, I know, Papa.
Like I'm
You tell me that every 2 hours.
I'm like 98% sure that's something his father has already told him.
He probably has, based on stories he's told us.
Anyway, but back, I want to talk about Romeo and Juliet just a little bit more, because, like, we kind of got into it. I think one of the things that Romeo and Juliet does really well, the play and this movie, I think the movie's probably the best version of Romeo and Juliet I've ever seen, because, like I said, it actually makes it compelling. I think one of the things that Romeo and Juliet does really well is it gets the immediacy of it. They feel like they have to be acting this way. It also gets the fact that, it isn't a stereotype to write teenagers. It's not really thinking about the fuck they're doing at a certain point in time. They just fucking do it because it seems, yeah, fuck it, right now, why not?
Yeah, you should definitely write them with a lack of forethought. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's one of the things I really like about it. It's like, Romeo just, like, says, fuck it, let's get married. And, like, well, maybe there'll be some issues with that,
Right, exactly.
Reason why I kind of look at Romeo and Juliet it might be like a satire. Because in the very beginning, Romeo is madly and deathly in love with some other chick.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things is just, Rosaline, holy shit, Juliet. Boner. Wait, that's exactly it.
Do it with me, you ready?
Swing.
Yeah, and then, like, after dropping a hit of LSD, he's found mightily in love with Juliet then.
Mercutio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that little white pill with the heart, with the Cupid heart on it? that Mercutio gives him in this.
Wouldn't that be ecstasy?
Yeah, it's supposed to be ecstasy.
You said LSD.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercutio's my favorite character in this. Like, doesn't he remind you of Phil just a little bit?
Yes! Oh! That's all.
Oh, you're only saying that because he's black.
No, it's just that, like, our friend Phil would go to a party in drag like that, and then do a song and dance, and somehow throughout the night lose his top.
That was pretty funny.
Anyways, yeah, so,
I wonder if that's what Shakespeare had in mind.
Probably not.
Well, you know, he didn't have men play the parts back in the day of Juliet, so...
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah, I mean, that's true.
So anyways, yeah, so... he sees, like, Juliet a total of, like, what, 3 or 4 times in this whole movie?
Well, like, to be fair to this, the play, it's very varied on how the actors are in contact. This does a great job of actually establishing a connection between the two, I think.
Yeah.
Like, the visuals, the way in which they meet, I love that shot with the fish tank. Oh my god.
By the way, what's up with water in this movie?
I don't know, but Baz Luhrmann apparently really likes water. No, there's some...
Maybe he's Aquaman.
Baz Luhrmann directs the next Aquaman.
Oh, God, yes!
Oh my god, visually that would be...
And since he's one of those directors who always makes, like, a word-for-word interpretation of, like, one of his source materials, Peter David's Aquaman run.
Okay, I can deal with it. No, but, the moments that they have in this, though they are brief, they at least feel somewhat more genuine because the actors deliver it, and it's the director, you can obviously tell, frames it and tells them to do it in such a way that it actually seems genuine. It's just the language isn't what you would actually be saying to another human being. And like that scene, the last time they see each other alive, when Romeo has her under the sheets and he's like being all goofy and stuff. That's a really good scene. That's a very genuine moment between a couple, I think. You know, it's a very well-developed, well-shot scene, and it actually shows that they have a connection with one another. There's a lot of stuff like that you actually see a genuine connection between these two, and it's all based on the performance and the direction, not so much on the script.
Very true.
Well, and also things upon it, too, I think what motivates their love so much more is once they find out who each other are, that Romeo is a Capulet, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Romeo's
Montego, and Juliet's Capulet, and that's when they start getting more interested into each other. I think instantly they're in love once they find that out, and just rushing in like that, I think it's that's what leads to their death. And I think it's the whole kind of ironic at the very end, you know, just the impatience.
That's the... Oh, hold on, let me get in front of the mic. Sorry, needed Powerade. That's the crux of the whole thing, is the bitter irony of it all, that they, actually...
Shakespeare loved his irony.
I actually really like the way that the direction takes it to end in this one, where, you know, most of the time, Romeo's dead before Juliet wakes up. I really like that she wakes up the instant he drinks the poison. I thought that was really well done. And, you know, I like the gunshot, and part of the advantages of film, I really like that you can cut back to all those really good shots of the good moments they did have together. Doesn't help that they're, like, in the same night.
Speaking of that, this is kind of, watching this, it kind of felt like watching a TV show, because the intro had, like, all the names, and it was, like, scenes future, later in the show, and then it has a recap of, like, kind of what happened previously. At the very end, I was like, okay.
Oh, let me just say this. I do love the opening with the news broadcast. I thought that was fantastic.
There's a lot of stuff like that I actually really do like about it. Like, those are the chorus characters, basically, the exposition characters. They're just supposed to be talking to the audience. But he has the people on TV deliver it in such a way, like, more so than the news anchor, it's when Romeo and the one guy are in the pool hall. And you see these TV people, like the talking heads, like talk show people, and they're talking like those people do. We've got some great tips for baking coming up after the break. But they're using this Shakespearean dialogue, and it just works. Like, that's really good acting when you think about it. Alright, deliver this, like, really vague, very, you know, Shakespearean line like one of those cheesy talk show hosts.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in the whole movie. That was well done.
Yeah. Which that kind of reminds me, was kind of interesting. There was a lot of billboards throughout the movie. There were. And they were quotes from other previous Shakespeare plays.
Oh. Okay.
I just want to see, like, an Avengers-style Shakespeare movie where he's got all his leads that they, like, team up to, like, fight zombies or something.
I'm reasonably sure Henry V is in 2 other plays.
No, but I just want to see... Yeah, but I want to see, like an over-the-top, entertaining style written Shakespeare play where they talk like that, but they just, kill zombies. Tell you,
I'm reasonably sure that all of William Shakespeare's work has been found, and I'm pretty sure none of it is that.
But I won't... Fine, somebody make it.
If they do make it, Arnold has to play Hamlet.
Oh, no, Macbeth.
To be.
Oh, wait, was that... No, that was Hamlet. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. I was actually thinking of,
That.
I was thinking of the Fairly Odd Parents.
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and the arrows of outrageous fortune, or... Sorry. I can't get through it in the Arnold voice because my throat just...
Okay, do the chopper, do it now! No, something like that.
Don't use the chopper line with Arnold. It's overdone.
I'm gonna top you idiots.
Listen, don't overuse my work just because you think you're a fan.
It's just slowly turning into like if Arnold Schwarzenegger and fuck, what's his name?
Walken?
Yeah, and Christopher Walken had a baby.
I can only do a Walken impression. Everything else devolves into it.
See, that's the problem. I just feel like it.
Wait. Oh, let's test the extent of this. Bill, I want you to do a Chris Rock impression.
A Chris Rock impression.
Don't use the N-word.
Or a Chris Tucker impression.
I can't do Chris Tucker. Oh, God. I can't do Chris Rock, because I'd have to say the N-word, and I'm not doing it.
How about Kermit the Frog?
Kermit the Frog?
See, Bobby actually...
Hey, Kermit the Frog here.
Oh my god, wow, that's actually really good. Wait, do Skeletor.
Man!
Skeletor.
I'm going to kill He-Man, just like usual. Man!
He doesn't get to
bring me the head of He-Man. To be or not to be, killing He-Man.
Wait, hold on. You gotta do my favorite Skeletor line ever. It's from a parody. What is that familiar scent? Ah, yes. Pussy. Do it in Skeletor's voice.
Wait, hang on. What was it?
Ha. What is that familiar scent? Ah, yes, pussy.
Ha. What is that familiar scent? Oh, yes. Pussy. And what is my other favorite scent? The death of He-Man. You gotta throw that in there for it to be proper Skeletor.
Just everything ends with He-Man must die. Okay, anyway, back to the movie.
Good morning, Beastman. How are you doing today? I'm doing okay. Good, because today we kill He-Man. He's got a serious psychological disorder.
It's like Tourette's, but all he interrupts it with is He-Man.
You know what would be even better? He never succeeds and He-Man dies of old age. Even when he's dead. He's still just like, kill He-Man!
Okay.
He-Man's already dead.
Alright, let's get back to the movie though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting choices in it, but in the context of teenagers again. Trying to keep it fairly related here. In the context of teenagers. Sorry. Oh, wow, that was powerful. In the context of teenagers, what do you guys think of the way in which they have just the basic interactions between the characters, Romeo and Juliet, and I'm gonna assume Mercutio is about the same age as well.
They are extremely emotive, which I think is key. Because I know when I talk to my friends who are the same age, we get loud and we get very, very active, you know what I mean? Animated, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing that right now.
Exactly. That's what I find. I think that's what they do very well. I just think, again, obviously the language is a barrier that, you know, is kind of odd to overcome at points.
I'd say DiCaprio overcomes it very well,
even
more
physically,
so than anyone else.
Even physically, like Leonardo, DiCaprio, he's even stumbling, tripping over stuff every now and then.
Really funny. I mean, I think DiCaprio really is what makes this movie work more so than everything else. Quick side note. Anyone else think that Juliet's father kind of looked like an older version of Milan? Back to the what I was saying. I think DiCaprio is what sells it. When he kills Paris? No, not Paris.
Tybalt?
Yeah, Tybalt. When he kills Tybalt, that's a really
great name.
And you can see like tears forming in his eyes and everything, and that's what I'm talking about. It just feels impassioned, which is what a lot of Shakespeare misses, and I think that's what a lot of like teenage fiction misses. Is this like flat drama for the sake of drama, but no one seems invested, no one seems to care. Teenagers yell and scream and cry when they're mad. They don't just go, but fuck you, and then leave.
But here's the thing. They'll hide it no matter what. Here's the thing. They're extremely emotional, but you need to show that they will do whatever they can to hide it. And I think that's something that's really key.
Depending on
But teenagers, something very important to them is their image and how they come off to others, because they think that how they come off to others is how they're gonna it's the person they're gonna turn into. They're very obsessed with how they come off, I think. And I think that, you know, they're very emotional and very unstable no matter how they present themselves. And I think that if a teenager is gonna cry, they need to either try and hide it really well, or if they are gonna do it, it's gotta be like a big, like, holy shit, we've broken this kid. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And I think that murdering somebody is probably a good reason to do it.
Fair enough. I think that John Green, who once again, if you want great fiction written with teenagers, he's got a handful of books out there right now. I'm gonna give you the 4 best because these are the ones I've read in the order in which they are good. Fault in Our Stars, hands down the best. There's a movie coming out in June. The trailer's on it. The trailer for it is out right now. Watch that. Looking for Alaska, his first novel, really good. Paper Towns, then An Abundance of Catherines. An Abundance of Catherines gets kind of weird, but it's still pretty good. They're all really good depictions of teenagers acting like teenagers, and they all cry at different points in it, and it just depends on the context of what's going on. But I think that it's okay to show a teenager crying or yelling, like, not necessarily crying, but teenagers yell and they slam doors. Like, you say they hide it. They don't hide it, they just don't express it openly. Like, they don't actually tell you what's going on. They just...
Yeah.
They, what's the word?
They'll disguise it.
Yeah, they'll communicate it passive-aggressively.
Oh, definitely. I think that's more of what I meant, definitely.
Yeah,
Or bigger. They'll blame it on an external force.
Yes.
Nothing can ever just be... it's my fault. It's always gotta be, no, it's this fucking asshole's fault who made me do this.
And that's very much so with men, but I think I've noticed with, female characters and real, female teenagers, is no matter what, it's always their fault. You ever notice that? Like, it's a very weird thing, but men have a tendency to, like, find it, hold on, let me start over. Male teenagers have a tendency to blame the world or blame someone else, where females have a tendency, even if it has nothing to do with them, it's all their fault.
Yeah. I work with a girl who's 2 years younger than me, and she will apologize just for, like, existing. It's ridiculous. It's like, why? She'll say sorry, and it's like, why?
I gotta, yeah.
Like, she'll just, like, pass by me and say, I'm sorry, and it's just like, why? For your air hitting me?
There's a new girl at my work, and she's really like that. You know, it's work. I'm the person that moves around the most because my manager's lazy. So I'm, you know, constantly running back and forth, and I'm a skinny guy, so I feel like I can just, you know, slide through people, and you know, very narrow spaces, which I'm probably gonna get sued for sexual harassment one of these days, but we'll see. No, I mean, I'll just slide past people and stuff, and occasionally nudge someone, and I don't think anything of it, you know, I'm on the move, you're there, sorry. But, like,
Fuck you! No.
I nudge this new girl, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, and, like, I'm like, no, don't worry about it, no biggie. And I do it again, like, 2-3 times a day, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm like, lady, it's gonna happen here, I'm sorry, it's gonna happen, just get used to it. And she does this other weird thing, where we have to, when you list something online on our thing, we have to put it on a shelf, and then I have to be able to find it like a week later. So we like have them put their initials for which shelf it's on, and any extra notes like in white bag, in brown box, whatever. Every single item this girl lists says initials, brief description, then thank you.
They are extremely polite.
Every fucking thing. And like it's this weird catch-22 thing where I'm like, I don't want her to do it, but she's just doing it to be nice, and I don't want to come out like an asshole and just be like, don't say thank you.
That's the thing. It's weird because you're like, you want to criticize them for being like, just stop, but it's like, why? Because it's annoying.
It's annoying that you're being polite.
It is. Yeah, it's something you can't rationalize, because you know what I think it is. It's like, I think it gets to a point where it's like, there are some things that don't need to be said.
Yep.
And when something is said that doesn't need to be said, we just get pissed. And there's no reason to. It's just that it's words that don't need to be uttered, and for some reason we find that annoying.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't know.
And I don't think it's right, but I think it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes, you know, girls, especially younger girls, will say things that don't necessarily need to be said.
Fair enough.
And I also think it's because they're more honest. Another thing, or tend to be more honest.
Now,
I'm not saying all young girls are honest. I'm saying, you know, they tend to be.
Okay, let me go away from Romeo and Juliet, because I think
I wanted to point out one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
The scene where we were talking about how, you know, the dramatic with Leonardo DiCaprio, the very end when Juliet dies,
yeah.
When he thinks she's dead, his acting was actually so good that the scene almost got ruined. The actress who played Juliet almost burst out crying.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's good.
When the scene got cut, wanted to cut, she smacked him over the head and she's like, "Don't make me cry, I'm trying to act."
Yeah.
Alright, just to move...
Another thing,
okay.
It was so weird seeing Leonardo DiCaprio that young.
Alright.
Oh god, because he's like Mr. Hollywood now. He's like the modern day Brad Pitt.
Yeah, like before then, the only thing he did that was really big was What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I think.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Oh fuck, that and look at fucking Johnny Depp in that scene, in that movie too.
It's like it's
crazy.
Makes me feel old.
It definitely does, because these are people who were the kind of early, like, these were the teenagers when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they're the adults when we're young adults. So it's, because you look at, you know, DiCaprio now in The Wolf of Wall Street. He's not an old man, but he's a man. He's a middle-aged man.
He's not.
And you know, we're on the cusp of adulthood. And it makes you feel old, it really does.
And then you look at, like, new guys, you know, and you're like, shit. Then when they get old, I'm gonna be really old.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, who's the modern day DiCaprio?
Shit, I don't even know, man.
Let's see. When he first started, I hated him, actually.
It's weird, because a lot of young actors like that we don't tend to like. I don't know. I think DiCaprio is obviously a better actor, but I guess like somebody like Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson's actually a fairly good actor.
High School Musical.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
You never know.
Yeah, I guess Zac Efron counts. He almost played Superman. Oh my God, that's so funny you bring that up. Zac Efron almost agreed to be Supes in Man of Steel.
What?
And guess who talked him out of it?
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh wow.
How bizarre is that? Because DiCaprio was like, you're at a place in your career where you've been involved in a major franchise, you really ought to build up with independent work. Because if you get involved in a major franchise, you're going to ruin your career.
Huh. Interesting.
Which he fucking saved us, because I don't want to see Zac Efron as Superman.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to move on to, because I'm pretty sure we're about done with Romeo and Juliet. We might come back to it a little bit more. A movie that's hit and miss with its depiction of teenagers. Mean Girls.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
It's not quite right, but it's more honest than other things are, right? It's still got like those elements of really open bullying, but it's not completely inaccurate like a lot of other things are, right? Or am I the only one here that's seen Mean Girls? Because Haley's laughing at me.
I've never sat through Mean Girls.
It's a good movie, honestly.
That's the movie where Lindsay Lohan like is like she moves from Africa.
Yeah.
And pretends to be something she's not to be popular.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's written by Tina Fey, who is hands down.
Oh, she's a genius.
Tina Fey is great. And that's what makes it good. I mean, Bill, there's some really funny ass scenes in Mean Girls just on.
Listen, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying that I've never sat through Mean Girls.
That's actually good.
It's not my kind of thing.
Like, there's some funny moments in it too. Like when she goes to the mall or whatever and sees all the teenagers. No, she goes into high school for the first time or something and sees all the teenagers, and she's been spending all of her life in Africa. And she just she just mentally pictures all these teenagers fighting like animals at the fucking watering hole. Like, oh, that's good.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. It kind of aligns with something I've said earlier where, well, I guess, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
We're going to be quiet until you say it.
No, never, because it doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, I mean, it's a funny scene. Well, let me just say, before we get off of Romeo and Juliet, I want to say this. I want to develop something I said earlier. I do really like that movie visually.
Yeah.
And the major thing I like about it, and I always like this, is I like it when somebody does like a modern version of Christian art. Like they put the rosary art on the bottom of the guns, and it looks so cool. It looks awesome, and I love that. I love it whenever they'll put like Christian style art on like a modern thing. I think that's one of the things I find the most cool looking about like Ghost Rider comics and Spawn comics, is you'll see this Christian imagery mixed in with like a motorcycle or like all this different stuff, and I find that inherently cool.
There it is. That's it. I found the perfect way to describe Moulin Rouge. It's like Spawn, where it looks amazing, but it doesn't make any sense. There you go, everybody. Like that should be a thing. We should make a name for it. I'm making a name for it. I'm calling it Spawn Syndrome. That's it. When something looks really fucking amazing, but story-wise, it's like, what are you doing?
I'd call it Lermanitis.
Lermanitis?
Lermanitis.
I'm gonna call it Spawn Syndrome.
Well, we're gonna agree to disagree then.
I don't get Lermanitis. What?
Yeah, neither do I.
Boz Lerman, that's the dude.
But no, I mean, like, Romeo and Juliet works. It's not his fault that fucking Shakespeare is shit.
He also directed Moulin Rouge, though.
Yeah, and that's its own host of issues. But it's not, like, the worst thing.
How about Great Gatsby? Did you get any of you Great?
I like Great Gatsby. That was...
I didn't see it.
Neither did I.
I watched it for the visuals, and I enjoyed it visually. You know, the story, it's The Great Gatsby. If you like
Was
Great
it word
Gatsby,
for word?
you should kind of sort of enjoy it. Great Gatsby is one of those things where you really shouldn't make it filmed. So he tries his best to communicate a lot of like the underlying things in the visuals, and it works to some extent, and at other points it does not, so, you know.
It's a weird thing to film, but how was it word for word like I expected it to?
I haven't read Great Gatsby in a long time, but a lot of the famous lines are in there, so yeah, probably. Or if not word for word, there's no added dialogue, let me put it that way.
Does Nick narrate it?
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to see it, but
It's
I assumed that would be that it would be word for word and striking visually.
It is.
Was the soundtrack distracting though? Because I heard that was a problem as well, because it was all like modern music.
It's weird, but it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that with Moulin Rouge too. It's all like not modern because you know fucking Like a Virgin is in there, but it's all pop music. But it fucking works, especially Roxanne. Seriously, just fucking watch the Roxanne scene. Don't worry about the rest of the movie. Watch the Roxanne scene. It's really good.
Do you think it dates it, though?
Not really, because, I mean, there's songs from the 60s into the 2000s and stuff, so...
In The Great Gatsby, though?
I'm trying to remember what the oldest song they used in Great Gatsby was, but I don't think it really dates it. I mean, it's...
Because that was my thing, was... You know, it's obviously gonna... Because I think the reason why he did it is a good one, where if you would have used 20s music, it would have been... It would have fit the time period, but people seeing it now wouldn't have... They wouldn't know what it was like back then, because the things that they feel when they go to a modern party and hear that music is what they felt, and they want to evoke that feeling. So I think that's a good reason to do it. But my thought was, but in 25 years, it's going to be the same problem for those kids. Because they're not going to associate that feeling with that music.
Fair enough. I don't know.
So it's like this vicious cycle. So in 25 years, The Great Gatsby is going to be...
Part of it didn't occur to me, but it's entirely possible. It didn't bother me, though, so...
But it is something that I'm sure... Well, you wouldn't know... I mean, yeah, you probably wouldn't notice it, but...
Like, at first it's a little distracting, then you kind of just get used to it and get caught up in it.
Ian, in 25 years, you and I are going to do a review of The Great Gatsby.
Bill, I have a feeling I'm not even going to know if you're alive in 25 years.
That's horrible! That's horrible! Alright. You know what the fuck? I'm going to make a vow now. I'm going to make sure I know your every location for the next 25 years. And when I'm 44? Yeah, 44, I'm going to find you. I'm going to be like, Ian, it's time.
Wait, Bill? Bill Wurster? What?
And at this point, I'm not going to have any hair. I'm going to be fat, a giant beard.
Fatter.
Hey, but you'll have that restaurant BB's.
It's ironic Bobby and I are friends, but you and I never kept in touch. Nah, Ian's gonna be dead in 25 years. No, I'm kidding.
Seems legit.
Yeah, seems legit.
I love that saying. Seems legit.
Okay, do you guys mind talking about Mean Girls for a little bit, though? Because I did want to kind of get into it, and since Bobby...
Man, what is it with you and Mean Girls?
I don't know, it just occurred to me.
I mean, go ahead. I don't have anything to add because I've never seen it.
Bobby and I can just toss it back and forth for a sec. So Bobby, like the reason it came up to me is because yes, it gets some things right? It gets like elements of high school right. Other parts it exaggerates like your typical high school drama thing, right? And that's just what occurred to me about it that I thought was worth bringing up. And I just wanted to bring that part up real quick and make sure that didn't get passed over. Your thoughts?
Oh, well, the thing with Mean Girls is I always found it interesting that they had that book. Because everyone, I don't care who you are, everyone said at least one thing that's a pretty shitty to say about someone else.
I mean, we were doing it before we started recording.
Yeah. Sorry,
now
man.
Someone's just sitting there wondering. Nah, they don't fucking watch my videos.
But yeah.
And then you find out like they know exactly who you're talking about.
If you
Ian, I thought you loved me.
If you think that you're important enough for us to talk about before recording, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'm going to tell you why you're not. And this is why I don't have many subscribers.
Ooh.
No one else has the balls to insult their subscriber base the way I do.
And that's why you don't have a lot of them.
Wait, there is one person that Bobby just mentioned. I'll back up on that. That's not true.
But yes, Mean Girls.
No, I
They're mean.
I like that element of it too. Yeah, that was cool. Alright, fine, since that's all I really wanted to mention about Mean Girls, is the way in which it kind of totes the line, and it's Tina Fey, so it's worth watching.
Sorry to backtrack, but Romeo and Juliet, I was kind of curious. The Montego? Juliet?
Montagues.
Or, Juliet's family.
Capulets.
Capulets. Were they Italian or Hispanic?
It's in Verona, so I think it's supposed to be Italian.
Yeah, I presume Italian.
Okay. I was kind of confused because, you know, they had a...
Yeah, because the original play takes place in Italy.
Well, I mean, this was shot in Verona, which was cool, because there's the statue of Jesus and everything.
Oh,
Dude, they kill a guy at the feet of Jesus. That's awesome.
You know what would have been better? If it was like the statue of Jesus came to life and just started attacking the city. That would make me like that. I can't imagine
why Bill would want that. Oh, funny story.
See, that's what would make me like that movie. Is
But
Jesus came to life and just started attacking the city.
Funny story from work today. So my job is basically to go around the shelves and find shit that these people have listed. And they listed a crucifix today, and I couldn't find it. So I get one of the other guys that does the same thing to, like, try and help me find it, and he can't find it either. So I get my manager, and we're all fucking looking for this thing, and eventually I just go, "Here, Jesus! Jesus! Come out, Jesus! Where are you?"
Oh my god!
And then when I finally found it, I was like, "I found Jesus! You had the baseball glove the whole time!"
And somebody was like, "Ian finally found religion!"
Sorry, funny.
That would...
Oh, man.
Great.
Verona was used very well. I mean, when was the last time a movie was shot in fucking Verona?
Probably a lot more recently than we think.
Probably. Like a wide-released real movie, not one of those fucking foreign films.
Well, it's Verona Beach. Not Verona. They changed that.
Wait, what?
I don't think there's an actual place called Verona, as far as I know. I think they just cut off the beach part. I'm gonna look this up, because I think that's what it was.
I know they had to refilm different locations because there was a hurricane that destroyed most of the set pieces.
Oh, wow, that sucks. Oh.
Yeah, it's Verona Beach. Verona is in Italy.
They didn't
Verona
actually
Beach.
shoot in Italy?
No, this is supposed to be California.
I thought it was supposed to be in Verona because there's the giant statue of Jesus.
Oh, no, this is supposed to be in California. This is America.
Oh. No, I thought it was supposed to take place in Italy.
Nope.
Where are you getting that from? Because, like, I swear everything, like, even Italian people and everything.
I'm 98% sure.
But it's got Luigi, who's actually Mexican.
Baz Luhrmann.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be,
But Juliet, the actor who plays Juliet's father,
the fuck you spelled his last name?
notorious for playing Italians.
Okay.
I don't know.
The guy kind of looks like Milan, right?
Yeah.
Like an old. That's what Milan's gonna look like when he gets older.
By the way, you know the great love story in that movie was Paul Rudd and that guy. Every scene, they were so happy together.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The guy, Paris and Juliet's father, yeah.
They're going, you know, getting sweat on, just chilling, smoking some cigars. Like, they truly loved each other. It was kind of
like, you should marry my daughter.
That's why he was pissed when he threw his daughter out in the streets. Like, no, no.
This guy's gonna be my son-in-law, bitch.
Alright, I know. Okay, the city is definitely fictional. It's not a real city.
Okay.
But is it California?
Bill is doing very, very detailed research on a movie that's all... God damn, this movie is almost 20 years old.
Yeah, it's
Shit. But no, like, my mom was here today when it was first starting, and she's like, wait, Romeo and Juliet? Oh, this is like the new one. I'm like, Mom, this movie's 10 years old. It's not! It's damn near 20 years old. Son of a bitch!
Okay, I know it's Verona Beach, but what is the fucking country?
I don't know, Bill. Anyway.
I'm trying to find it. Hang on. This is gonna bother me.
Well, let it bother you after the show while you're
No, you guys talk. You guys talk.
while you're doing your fucking Godzilla Dream video.
Alright.
Anyway.
Yes.
Alright, so Romeo and Juliet. You got anything else on Romeo and Juliet?
Romeo and Juliet. I think the priest is an asshole.
Little bit.
Most priests are. Oh!
I think his whole motives were all selfish. It wasn't about love. It was, well, I can end this war.
Yeah, that's such a selfish motive. He wanted to, you know, save lives and stuff.
They were like 4 years old, though.
Boom! California.
Okay.
Takes place in California.
Okay, fair enough. My bad.
That was gonna bug me.
It said Verona. I assumed Verona was a city in Italy.
But there's actually a place called Verona Beach.
Oh, I didn't fucking know that.
But it's literally just a beach. They extended it to a whole city.
Okay.
So it's not a real city, but it's a real location.
Alright.
What'd you think about, what's his name, that really annoying actor who sometimes funny, Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy's in this?
Yeah, he plays the guy who bites his thumb at one of the couple.
Oh, he does the gas station.
Yeah. He's got pink hair.
Jamie Kennedy, like, the best thing I ever heard about Jamie Kennedy was Jamie Kennedy needs to be stopped. And this is the line that a critic said that put Jamie Kennedy onto the course of making the movie Heckler. And it's just, like, so hilarious to see a man who's, like, you know, he's, like, mad that Son of the Mask didn't do as well as The Mask.
I can't, he's fucking delusional.
Like,
he's fucking delusional.
So pissed off that movie was so poorly received and how everyone criticized him for it. It's, like, really funny, like, how badly he doesn't get that the movie's just awful. Like, he's in his doctor's office being treated for depression. It's like, I've just been feeling really sad since my movie came out and it didn't do well. Oh, what movie was that? Son of the Mask? It's a sequel to it's a sequel to The Mask. And oh, well, it's really hard to follow up Jim Carrey. He just looks so fucking defeated because it's not a failure. I'm like, dude, it's really fucking hard to follow up Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it's like that, and it's terrible.
No, it's a family picture.
Jamie Kennedy's one of those.
It's a family picture.
Stand-up comedy. Not all stand-up comedy comedians should go acting.
I don't think he's a very good stand-up either.
I've never listened to him.
I saw some of his stand-up in Heckler, and he's really not that funny. And you know what, Jamie Kennedy? If you're gonna listen to me, you know, review you and try to call me out, I'll tell you why Son of the Mask sucks.
Shit.
So just please, come right up to my doorway.
Come right up and get me.
No, I mean, he was...
You sound like a sassy... You sound like a sassy woman right now. You're just like, come and get me.
Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Snapping his fingers and shit.
Yeah, anyway. No, I mean, he was okay in this. I didn't recognize it was him, so he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's also barely in it. I think he dies in the first half hour, doesn't he?
No, he's in it throughout.
Yeah.
You constantly just see him. He's got some weird, like, black eye or something. I can't tell.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Who dies?
Okay, is there anything else besides Jamie Kennedy of Romeo and Juliet to talk about?
No, this is kind of weird, but the black guy with dreads, what's his name?
I don't know the actor's name.
Well, the character.
Mercutio.
Mercutio. It was kind of weird seeing that actor because he's in the show Sons of Anarchy.
Oh.
Just completely... He plays a character called the Pope. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, man. He's a good actor.
Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite character in the whole thing, just because...
He definitely gets the best role, for sure, and he takes it, and he turns it into something that I never expected it to be.
Yeah.
Like, when you read the play, it's just everybody's fucking flat, but I mean, he's just as flat as everybody else. and then he turns it into... He reminds me of, like, Bender from The Breakfast Club. He turns it... Oh, and that's that. We should definitely at least briefly mention John Hughes in terms of characterizing teenagers in film. He was somebody who was very... Like, that was where he made his, you know, his fucking... career was you know, doing stories about teenagers with you know, Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club and Weird Science.
Weird Science. I love Weird Science.
I love Weird Science. I think that John Hughes was brilliant for characterizing teenagers because he made them people, but he used those stereotypes and then he turned them into these real people. And what he so brilliantly showed was that these are people who just accept this stereotype because that's what they're meant to do, and they're not comfortable inside of that stereotype. And that's what The Breakfast Club's all about. And at the end of the movie, they're all kind of... They don't leave those stereotypes, but they've realized that those stereotypes are not what they should be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that is extremely interesting. Problem with The Breakfast Club is that it is outdated. Because those stereotypes are very different today.
Oh, yeah.
No, I like Weird Science just because it's like...
Weird Science!
Weird!
That's got Bill Hader.
I love Weird Science.
Guy from Twister.
Did you ever watch the Weird Science television show?
Yes.
There was a Weird Science TV show?
Yeah, live action and everything.
What was it about?
Same thing.
Yeah, it was like...
episodically.
It was kind of like I Dream of Jeannie, but with teenagers.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long did it last?
Like 2 seasons, I think.
On USA.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it wasn't the same cast.
No, but they got a pretty good recast on it.
No, like everyone looked more or less the same, except for the actress, of course. No, it was pretty good.
Unfortunately, didn't.
That's the one who you want to stay the same. And they're just like, here's an average-looking female.
No, I mean the actress is still attractive.
Oh,
it
yeah.
just doesn't look like the same person.
Didn't have Robert Downey Jr., unfortunately.
Yeah, that was weird, right? That's Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something to talk about. Not teenagers, but Less Than Zero. Brent S.
Holy shit.
That's the movie Phil and I used to joke about. Because, like,
Robert Downey Jr. sucked dick for coke.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, well, Batman killed people. Well, Iron Man sucked dick for coke. You already used that. Iron Man sucked dick for coke.
No, you know what's even better? James Spader was in that movie.
Right?
Now, he's playing Ultron. So in other words, Iron Man sucked Ultron's dick for coke.
I was not even gonna mention James Spader. You brought him up, so there.
Oh, it's like...
Well, I'm just saying that Iron Man sucked Ultron's dick for coke.
Say it again, Bobby.
Sorry. Yeah, it's like that one time when Spider-Man and Lex Luthor started Facebook.
That's true. That's true. Holy shit. Now, you know what's funny? That's only true today. Like, 1 day ago, that wouldn't have been true.
Right.
But today, that's true.
Well, it's not only true today. It's only true after today.
And they totally ripped off the Lone Ranger for it.
Okay.
The Lone Ranger was played by the twins in that movie. So never mind.
Okay. I missed that one.
It was terrible.
I never saw it. Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie of the year.
What? Okay, now I'm kind of laughing.
Really?
It's one of his favorite movies of the year, yeah.
Oh, Quentin, you made a Western, man. You know how they should be. That's not... Now, I'm gonna say this. I didn't see the movie, but...
I'm sure it's, like, popcorn fun.
Yeah, but I've heard it's boring, so... You know, I heard it takes a long time to get to the popcorn fun.
Fair enough.
But I've also heard that it tries to be really dark and serious in the first hour. So, who knows? I'm sure it's terrible, but, you know. If it ever comes on, like, cable, I'll check it out.
Now, how do you guys feel about, like, adults who are, like, in their 25... Who are, like, 25 and 30 playing teenagers?
It never, ever works. Like, ever.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't work when you either are a teenager or past it. When you see it as a kid, you don't recognize that it's not right.
Yeah.
Like when I saw the first Spider-Man movie, I was like, oh, that's how teenagers look. Then you become a teenager, and it's like, why don't I look like Tobey Maguire?
Which is weird, actually, because Tobey Maguire when he started playing Spider-Man, was the exact same age as Andrew Garfield when he started playing Spider-Man.
And everyone's...
Or Andrew Garfield looks a lot more like a teenager, though.
Yeah. It's just one of those weird things. It works.
One of the
Emma Stone, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, she can pull it off better than...
She's a little...
She pulls it off better than, what's her name? Fuck.
Kirsten Dunst?
Yes. I mean,
Definitely.
though, Kirsten Dunst in Small Soldiers does look like a teenager, because she is.
She also looked like a child in Interview with a Vampire, because she was a child.
You've seen Small Soldiers?
A long time ago. I was a child.
That's one of my nostalgic guilty pleasures. We might have to do that.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
Geeky Gentlemen. We might have to do that on Geeky Gentlemen.
I would love to rewatch it because I remember seeing it as a kid.
Was there ever a bad movie in the 90s with Tommy Lee Jones?
Yes. That was called Batman Forever.
No, but, okay, he's bad in that movie, but that movie is not terrible.
The director's cut is not terrible. But just barely. It's just not terrible.
That's 5 minutes with him is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's a director's cut of Batman Forever?
Yeah, it's the one with Bruce Wayne actually having a character arc.
I gotta see that. I've never seen that.
It's the one where he's like, you might have already seen it, because I'm pretty sure you can't see the actual cut anymore.
I have the VHS tape.
Okay, then you do have the theatrical cut. There's a version where Bruce Wayne has a character arc because he's having repressed memories that involve a book and his parents' death.
Oh, Kat mentioned this in his review. I thought he was talking about a deleted scene.
No, it was a deleted scene. It was put back in for the director.
No, but I didn't know if he was... Oh, okay. Okay. I gotta check that out now. That's awesome.
Yeah,
But he is bad in that movie. I will say that.
Yeah, that'd be one of my few complaints about that movie. Along with nipples. Wait, is there bat nipples?
There are bat nipples in Batman Forever.
Okay.
How old is Dick Grayson supposed to be in Batman Forever?
I have no idea.
I mean, he definitely comes off like a teenager. And if
he comes off like a poorly written teenager.
Yeah, but if he was in his 20s, I don't think they would have had him move in with Bruce.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be a teenager because
that's well, but he's driving a motorcycle.
So
he's got to be at least 17.
Or 16.
Well, what's the law in Gotham with that? You know, maybe...
I don't know. What state is Gotham supposed to be in? Like Pennsylvania?
Indiana.
Bobby loves to point this out. Fort Wayne has the exact same geography that Gotham has in all the comics.
But Gotham has an ocean.
No, it doesn't. It has a river.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but so does Manhattan, but that's off of the Atlantic. The Hudson River is not... The Hudson River is connected to the Atlantic. It's still got an ocean for it.
Yeah, we're just... It's
You guys just want Gotham to be in your hometown.
Yes.
We've driven by Wayne Manor.
I'm sure you have.
There's a building far out on the south side of town. No, wait, west side of town. That looks kind of like Wayne Manor.
Yeah, we got lost and found it. It was weird.
Bobby and I have adventures, Bill. You and your friends don't have adventures.
We've had adventures. They're just not
Your
as exotic.
adventures involve Godzilla and basements.
What?
I'm just taking elements from the stories you told me. Alright,
I've had some... I once... I won't tell that story.
Now, let's get back to what Bobby brought up here about older actors playing teenagers. I mean, it depends on exactly what you're doing, because, I mean, Chris Evans... Wait, no, he was supposed to be in college in that movie.
What movie?
Cabin in the Woods.
He played it... Oh,
that's Chris Hemsworth.
Bizarre.
Yeah, my bad, Chris Hemsworth, not Chris Evans.
Oh! So he played Cap at that point, so that's fucking weird. Chris Hemsworth was a... Oh, that's still weird.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be in college, but whatever.
Yeah, but he's still like 30, isn't he?
I have no idea. You know, it's weird. His younger brother's in Hunger Games 2 or whatever it is.
He's also in the Expendables 2.
Well, whatever. I mean, why the fuck aren't we getting more flashbacks of young Loki and young Thor and get fucking that kid to play young Thor? Because I honestly was like, wow, Chris Hemsworth lost a lot of weight the first time I saw that kid. They look shockingly similar.
They do. He literally looks like a younger version of his brother. Literally. It's kind of weird though, because whenever you see Liam Hemsworth in a movie, it's like, oh, he's just trying to be his big brother. Like there was that movie called Paranoia, which I heard was bad, and they were clearly like, hey, this kid's brother is Thor. Put him in an action movie with Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman, and it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But anyway, back to older actors and teenagers. Oh wow, that sounds a lot worse than it actually.
Older actors and teenagers. You heard it here first, folks. You know what Ian's going to be thinking about before he goes to bed tonight.
Oh man,
that's terrible. Yeah, I agree with you. It rarely works, but I think it rarely works once you've got some perspective. Again, when you're like 12 and you see Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man, you don't give a fuck because you're not there yet. And I also think there's this weird thing where when you're a kid, when you think of older people, you kind of stick them all in the same group. Like when I was in first grade, second graders were like old to me. That was like being grown up to me. And then when
South Park played with that for a while.
Yeah, and then when I got to second grade, I was like, I feel the same. And then when I got to be a senior in high school, I was like, I still feel the same.
Yeah.
But it's still weird. It's bizarre to go back and see these things.
Bobby, what are your thoughts on older actors playing teenagers?
As an actor, I think it would be really tricky. You got to be careful when you pick roles like that. If you do once or twice, and you really do a really good job with the role, when you start looking for other roles, you start getting placed in typecasts. Like that guy who they just Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Who's going to be Lex Luthor. I know a lot of people's reaction is, isn't he too young?
Mm-hmm.
No,
he's 30.
Yeah, he's only 30. I mean, he's 30 years old, so
he's close to Henry Cavill's age.
How old is Henry Cavill?
He's early 30s.
Like,
okay.
Do you know the exact age, please?
I could look it up.
Please do.
But Affleck, I mean, that's the reason why they cast Affleck. Affleck partially was because he was significantly older.
Which is going to be weird to have old Bruce Wayne and young Lex Luthor. I'm not used to that. I cannot think of a single comic that's ever done that.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a lot weirder with Superman.
Maybe, I don't know.
He's 30. He's exactly 30.
Henry Cavill and Jesse Eisenberg are both 30.
How old is Eisenberg exactly?
Eisenberg's 30.
You know this for a fact?
Yeah, I just looked it up today.
Wow, that's okay. So that's not weird then. He does look younger though. He looks like Andrew Garfield. Like he looks younger.
Exactly. That'd be my point. Like, with some of the first roles you saw him on, like Solomon. Like
he's playing teenagers.
Yeah, and he's.
You don't think he's gonna have to gain a little bit of weight?
Like I'm honestly surprised Matt. It's weird. Let's talk about the complete opposite of this. Matt Smith started a role at 27 when he still looked like he could play a teenager, but he's 900.
Yeah. and then he became 1200, though he definitely aged as he went down.
Oh man, Matt Smith has to come back very soon because he's going to age drastically.
Yeah, because watch the... Okay. I want you to do this, because you'll notice the difference. Watch Tennant's regeneration into Matt Smith, and then watch Matt Smith's regeneration into Capaldi. They don't even look like the same person.
It's mostly the hair, but yeah, I agree. It's pretty nice.
No, but even the face, he just looks older.
Yeah.
Part of that is also because he just played a role recently where he had to play like a badass, so he gained a lot of muscle and shit, but still, he looks older.
Okay.
That's a dude, I want to see where he goes. He's a great fucking actor.
Oh yeah, totally.
One actress I'm really looking to see how it's going to turn out. Who was a young teenager actress. She was in Carrie. Who played Carrie? She was in Kick-Ass.
Okay. Got a name for me? I'm terrible at actresses.
I can't say her last name.
Wait, the one who played Hit Girl?
Yeah.
She aged a lot too in between those two movies. Holy shit.
Like, she was probably the only teenager that was able to do the role pretty good besides the bullies in the movie. But yeah, she's fantastic. I'm really excited to see how. Hopefully, her career continues after being a teenager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd hope so as well. And then we got like, all right. So for years, I thought that the kid who played Anakin this isn't teenager, but whatever. Thought that the kid who played Anakin Skywalker had only done Star Wars Episode 1 because it was just such a terrible thing, and he was such an unproven talent. But this Christmas, guess what I found out? I realized for the first time.
What?
He is in fucking Jingle All the Way.
He fucking is in Jingle All the Way. I realized that too this year. He's in a lot of shit in that time period.
Ugh. And
he was all over the joint.
I did not know this kid was going to be an awful actor.
Yeah. I wonder where that kid is now.
I don't know. Actors, young actors, and I mean, I don't know if I could say that this kid played a teenager because he was a teenager, but why is the name not popping into my head?
Who did he play?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Oh, he's gonna go places.
You'd think so, but so far after Harry Potter, all he's done is The Woman in Black and then some stage plays. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but he's done a lot of stage plays.
No, do something that's actually going to be marketable and high art. Don't do fucking The Woman in Black.
Yeah, but I don't think he cares at this point. I think he's more of, I need to take a break from film after all that time because of the devotion he had to it. Give him 10 years and he'll come back and do something, I think.
I guess. It's so weird. I was talking to Bobby about this a while back, actually. Imagine if Star Wars Episode 1, instead of whatever the fuck that kid's name is, they'd cast Daniel Radcliffe for whatever reason.
What are you talking? Wait, can you say that again?
What if instead of the kid that played Anakin, we got Daniel Radcliffe to play Anakin? That could have been good. That could have happened.
I mean, I don't know. Well, the movie would still probably be shit, but I don't know if.
Well, part of the problem with that movie is just how bad an actor he is. That's
yeah, but it's just
it's like Jar Jar. It's like Jar Jar, the plot, and then Anakin Skywalker's actor.
Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of that movie, it's shocking how much of that movie is good on paper. Like Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon and other stuff.
Obi-Wan.
Who's the guy? Ewan McGregor, right?
Yeah.
Is Obi-Wan?
Mm-hmm.
He's a good actor.
He's great.
He was fine.
All right, guys. It's getting kind of late. We need to wrap up real quick. Is there any final thoughts on teenagers we need to discuss?
I'd like to say it's one movie that I think describes teenagers best for me was Dazed and Confused.
Fair enough. I never really got into that one. It's just a cult hit that kind of skipped me by, I guess.
Not much story, but it's just a night out with teenagers. That's, Matthew McConaughey. Oh right. It's
a good Matthew McConaughey.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
I'm sure you have.
My sister wants me to watch Magic Mike, and I'm debating it. Apparently there's boobs in it, so that's always nice.
It's got a lot of man ass in it.
Oh.
So you judge that for yourself, bro.
All right.
Okay. Bill, any final thoughts you want to get out there?
I'm just gonna reinstate that if you're gonna write teenagers, you need to write teenagers like you write everybody else. Write them like people. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
All right. For me, I'm gonna say if you want to read good teenagers, John Green.
Bobby, he's officially lost it. Slap him across the head and maybe he'll return to normal.
Ow!
Ian, recite one of Batman's lines from The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay, hold on. The rain hits my chest and it's like a baptism. I should be sweating, I should be collapsing in pain. But I'm not. I'm breathing again. I'm running again. I feel like a man of 30, 20. Or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. That's Batman. That's the Miller pissed off old man Batman. Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it.
Alright, everyone. Quick score on Romeo and Juliet. Bill, you go first.
For the visuals and for a damn strong effort at making Shakespeare tolerable, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
But it's so boring. Just get me involved. Just get me engaged.
No, you gotta get your verb or a noun or whatever. 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I haven't been on a review episode in a while, so forgive me. I'm gonna give it 2.5 long swords out of 5.
Yeah.
Bobby, how about you?
All right.
Still so stupid.
All things considered, with the visuals, I did have a problem with the quick zooms they had and when they would speed it up. But that being said, I thought visually was good. Taking out the point of view I had with the black humor, because that's something on me. I don't think that was ever intended. So I'm gonna have to give it a 3 black cross dressers out of 5.
Ah, damn it! You took mine.
Ah.
All right.
You saw Ian like quietly mouth it to himself, and he was like, "I'm gonna fucking take that."
Mine.
No, it's just the one I was thinking of. All right, I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Come on! Work, brain, work. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Falling into pools.
That's an action.
I don't care. It's my show, bitch.
How about 3.5? Who was the motherfucker who fell in the pool?
No, Romeo and Juliet. They kept falling in the pool in that one scene. It's really sweet.
Happens like 3 times.
Yeah, it was
4.
Okay, so 3.5 Romeo and Juliet's falling in pools.
And
No.
what's his name? Juliet's cousin falls into a pool.
Yeah, right. There's a lot. Here we go. Okay, I'll change it. I'll give this movie 3.5 underwater shots out of 5.
There you go.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, everyone, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am so excited to be doing the Lego movie next week, and fuck it, I might as well say it, because now it makes him committed to do it. Captain Logan will be joining us for the review of the Lego movie, so I'm excited for that.
Motherfucking Logan.
Captain. So that'll be a lot.
I want him to know that that's how he is in my mind. I'm gonna tell him that next week. Whenever I think of Captain Logan, it's Captain Motherfucking Logan.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very excited for that. Everybody, until next time, I'm the philosopher.
I'm the fanatic. Meh.
And I am the doctor.
Ah, damn. Why didn't neither of us think of that, Bill?
I don't know, man. I feel jealous.
Shit.
Now.
This is why I'm awesome.
It's true. That's a pretty thing. That's a nice thing to fucking think of. Damn.
Anyway, we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.
To kill He-Man.